Hello, people. So I'm going to be doing another live stream right now on my reaction to this kind of debate that Ken Ham and Bill Nye have been having. I guess it's the ark. Ken Ham has this recreation of an ark, and they're kind of showing it to Bill Nye, but they have a religious discussion. Now, Devin Tracy turned me on to this portion of the video, which I will be talking about, and it's very interesting. So let's begin.
He's incompetent.
And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave a comment in the chat, and I will check it out.
From what I've seen on television.
Watch this video.
Oh yes, yes.
In your worldview, when you die, what happens to you?
You're done.
You're done. So why?
And if that turns out not to be true, that'll be very exciting.
Okay.
Okay, so far, I agree with Bill Nye. So, you know, I'm an atheist, so I think that when we die, we cease to exist. It's very tragic. It's awful. Extremely awful.
But if you say you're done, so you won't even know you were ever here.
Apparently not.
So then, why do you care what we're doing here? Why do you care about climate change? Why do you ultimately, because ultimately when all these people die, they're done and nothing has any ultimate purpose, so why does it matter? Why does it matter ultimately?
So let's be clear.
Okay.
What we do is make more people. What organisms do is reproduce.
But still when they die, they're done, so why does it matter?
So my claim...
Why does it matter ultimately?
Okay. Ken Ham is asking very, very good question. And yes, why does it matter? So let's say we die and we cease to exist. What's the ultimate point of life? I can't think of any. To me, if we die and cease to exist, life is pointless and meaningless. And this, to me, this was one of the worst things about becoming an atheist and losing my faith in God, because yeah, now I think that the only way for life to have meaning is if I get to live forever. Of course, I don't think there's an afterlife or heaven, and that's why we need to be curing aging, trying to fix aging, and so that we can have indefinite life extension. That's the basic gist of it. And let's see what Bill Nye has to say. Now, I'm not expecting him to say many great things because I know Bill Nye. I've seen him, and he's said some deathist things. Look what he said right here. For me, death is empowering and amazing. Wow. Really? Really? What a stupid thing to say. So Bill Nye is a stupid deathist. And clearly, so look, he's stupid. I see stupid people. Yeah. Let's see what he has to say.
My claim is that not only your size and shape, number of fingers, eye color, and so on, is a result of the main idea in all of biology, evolution. Not only is evolution the main idea in biology, but what you feel is also a result of evolution.
But why does that matter if you're done when you die?
Exactly. See, Bill Nye is not really addressing the real question, the core of this, which is that what is the ultimate significance and meaning to life to the individual that dies? What does this evolution bullcrap have anything? He's just getting off topic. It has nothing. That does not give meaning to me as an atheist. So what? Evolution. Let's say I have kids. Let's say I leave a legacy through my genes. So what? That doesn't help me. That doesn't benefit me. If I'm dead, I can't benefit from having kids. It's all pointless. It's all meaningless if you die. So at the gist of this, Ken Ham is right, because he's trying to suggest that life is meaningless if we don't get eternal life, and he's right. Now, of course, Ken Ham is wrong about. Well, I can't say he's wrong for sure about the hypothetical afterlife, but he's wrong for not trying to cure aging. He's really just putting all his eggs in this hypothetical afterlife God basket, when really that's so hypothetical. There's no evidence for that. So he should be, really these people should be working together. The scientists should be working on let's cure aging. Let's give ourselves indefinite life extension. And the religious people should be on board with that message, because really their afterlife, their God, everything they believe in is all conjecture, hypothetical, wishful thinking at the end of the day. Let's go on.
I mean, why does it all matter? Everyone's done. They won't even know they're here. Why?
You're asking fundamental existential questions. This is great, Mr. Ham.
But why?
Yeah, questions that you have no answer for, and all he can say is, for me, death is empowering and amazing. That's Bill Nye's answer to this. That's how he copes with death. You see, because atheists, they're just as delusional as religious people. And that's coming from an atheist. These atheists out there on YouTube and everywhere, even the big atheists like Sam Harris and Hitchens and all these people, they're all deluded. They're all deluding themselves so they can feel comforted in regards to their own mortality. That's all it is. It's a big delusion. If they were being honest with themselves, they would say, if I die and cease to exist, life was meaningless, and that's it. Sound and fury, signifying nothing. But they're not honest. They're deluding themselves, okay? They're deluding themselves. Let's go on. Now, this is not going to be a huge live stream because I don't have much time here at the library. Let's go on, though. This is interesting.
The idea is to pass your genes on to the future.
But they're going to die and be done too. So
but maybe they'll achieve great things and inspire us. Maybe they'll find out what happened before the Big Bang.
What does it matter?
Maybe they'll determine whether or not the core of Jupiter is hydrogen acting like a metal, or if it's really metal.
And why does that matter to them when they're done?
Because maybe we will discover a new source of energy that will power the whole world based on this new...
See, this is all going over Bill Nye's head. He's not getting the real gist and the truth, actually, of what Ken Ham is suggesting here. That what is the ultimate meaning of all of this stuff? So what? Your descendants find out they knows more about science, and that's supposed to somehow give meaning to our life? No, it just gives no meaning. Like, let's say our descendants, I don't know, did something amazing. Let's say they colonized outer space, and who cares? If I'm not there to see it, if I don't get to live forever, it's all pointless, it's all meaningless. So we need to have a vantage point of a little bit of self-interest. We need to be seeing life through a lens of self-interest. Like, what's in it for me? So that's what's important.
Physics.
And why does that matter when they're done?
Because what we do is live. The meaning of life is to live and pass your genes on.
See, and pass your genes on. See, Bill Nye he's pushing for this idea of the legacy. Somehow that he thinks leaving a genetic legacy, passing your genes on, like that's his substitution. That's his idea of the afterlife. And this is true for a lot of atheists. Their idea of the afterlife is, I'm going to have kids. My descendants. I'll leave a legacy. So what? People. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Now pass your genes on and then you die, you're done. I still don't understand why.
So why would you leave the world worse than you found it?
I mean,
that's my question. Why would you be obsessed with teaching people that humans are not causing climate change? Why would you take a book's word for it when you could discover the world for yourself?
Actually,
that's the mystery to
humans
me.
did cause climate change because we sinned against a holy God, and now we live in a sin-cursed universe.
Okay, so, I've spent some time in...
So, Bill Nye now is showing his kookiness, and... I mean, not Bill Nye, sorry. Ken Ham now is showing his kookiness about... so really, they're both wrong. I mean, Ken Ham is now asserting all this knowledge about some claim that his God did something or said something or whatever, and he has no proof of any of this. So they're both silly. They're both being stupid. Whoa, what was that? Okay, my Skype just turned off.
In Japan last year, they don't have any tradition like that. What's wrong with them?
Actually, there are cultures all over the world that do have such traditions.
Well, but not the one I spent a lot of time with.
Some people.
And before they eat, they thank the people that created the meal because they.
It's interesting they even thank people. I mean, there's remnants of Christian thought all over
That's an extraordinary claim.
all over the culture. But I still want to know, when we're all done, everyone's done here, why will our conversation even matter?
If we can empower a generation of young people to make scientific discoveries, to provide clean water, reliable electricity, and access to worldwide information to everyone in the world, that will be a very good thing.
But then they die and they're all done, so why did it matter for them?
Because they will pass their genes on and become some new thing.
But if when you die you don't even remember you were here because you know nothing, what's the purpose of living now anyway?
See, so this
is so great of a conversation, because Ken Ham, philosophically here, he is basically exposing a deep hole, a flaw in Bill Nye, and Bill Nye is not smart enough to see this, that his whole life is going to be meaningless if he dies. Both of these people should agree on that, and Ken Ham obviously does. See, in this way, religious people, a lot of religious people are smarter, because religious people do have the mindset of Ken Ham here, where they're saying, yeah, if we die, if we cease to exist, then life is meaningless. Now, they're right about that, but that's what causes them to be so attached to this idea of the afterlife and heaven. If they were really smart, they should understand that the afterlife and heaven is just hypothetical, wishful thinking, and they would, try to live forever physically on Earth. That's how we're going to have the best odds of living forever. And meanwhile, fine, they can hope for an afterlife. They can, who wouldn't hope for an afterlife? Who wouldn't hope for a God and a heaven and all that? But they have to understand that there's no evidence for that. So the Christians really lose the argument when they try to assert all this stuff and assume that there's a heaven and pretend to know that there's a heaven, and this arrogant certainty come from the Christians. But the atheists lose the argument when they try to pretend that life is meaningful, even if we all die and cease to exist. So they're both wrong in their own ways. They're both deluding themselves. Do you get what I'm saying here?
There's the difference between him and me. I find it extraordinary and amazing that I get to live right now, at this time in the cosmos, and be part of this amazing system we call the universe.
Guess what? I do too. I find it extraordinary. And I know that the reason I'm here is because God created.
Look at his language there. I know that the reason I'm here is because God created. No, he doesn't know that. What you're seeing is an arrogant claim of knowledge. Okay? And then we have, Bill Nye with his same old bullcrap about, it's amazing, it's empowering that we're here, but no, what's the point though? That's the point. What is the point?
People.
I have another fundamental question for you.
No.
The point is to live forever. That's the ultimate point of life. We're here, we're alive, we've somehow gotten here. However that is, I agree with I agree with Bill Nye. I think we got here through evolution. But regardless of how we got here, the more important question is, how do we stay here? How do we preserve the life that we have? And that's the important point. Is how do we stay alive forever? How do we live forever? That is the most important question we can ask ourselves. And that's what we should all be putting our heads together in some kind of giant think tank. Oh crap, we're in a tough situation here. We're mortal. Crap. People are dying everywhere. This has been happening for a long time. Let's solve this. Let's figure out how to solve death. And this is the whole idea of transhumanism.
No, this is related. No, this is related.
No, listen.
Noah's Ark was Old Testament.
Listen to me and tell me why it's so extraordinary. Because, as the Bible says, it's so evident that there's God. I mean, you look at DNA, a language system, an information system. We never see evidence that came about by natural processes.
Well, I claim we do, so we disagree.
Can you give me an example?
Example of what?
Matter producing information. There's billions of bits, zillions of bits of information on this. So can you give me an example of matter
she's
producing?
A good example.
Yeah, she's here. But how did the information arise from matter?
We don't know. So I find that extraordinary and exciting and wonderful.
I do.
We don't know.
In the beginning, God created.
Yeah. See, here's where Bill Nye is showing that he's smarter in just saying you don't know, and not this Ken Ham's always going to be relying on this God of the gaps. Oh, we don't know something? Well, we'll just say God. God is the answer for everything. That's what these religious people do. So, but, you know.
I think I know. I think that, like, I know that it all came from God.
In the beginning,
Okay,
God created.
It's fine to not know.
Open-minded but skeptical. And so here's where we have difficulty.
Well, he needs to be skeptical of his own deathist position. Because he's a deathist.
Bubbles in the rock. You find these shock patterns and you find the minerals from Mars. So it is not crazy. It's extraordinary, but not crazy to suggest that Mars was hit with an impactor through what's generally called a Hohmann orbit, an orbit where it goes falls to.
Anyways, we've covered the portion that I wanted to talk about. It was basically that portion about this discussion of the meaning of life and death and mortality and everything. So, all right, that's it, people. My stream health is bad. Don't know what's happening. Goodbye, people. I'll talk to you next time. Oh. How do you like my desktop? It's like it's a screen. It's a slideshow.